This all starts in a very small town, St. George, South Carolina. You're going to hear about the spectacular humans that live there and how a town came together to help someone they didn't even know and his dog.
She's a friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most, but probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Hi, welcome to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. I'm Aaron. It's so great to have you here. I saw this story on CBS and I will never forget it. It is beautiful kindness that I hope inspires you to think of somebody and what they may be going through without thinking about why they're there. I am so excited to introduce you to this incredible human. His name is Carlos Canales. And I saw this story online and then became sort of a detective where I have got to get a hold of Carlos because he's just my kind of people. So now he is on the Feel Good Frequency, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
This is just such a beautiful story of how I feel like this whole country should be. And you are a shining example of just how we need to take care of each other. So you are from St. George, South Carolina, and it's a pretty small town, right?
Yeah, very small town. I actually live in the next town over in Reevesville,
Oh, okay.
which is right next to St. George. So, I mean, because Reevesville, we have like one caution light and that's it. We don't have a grocery store. We don't have anything. We got to go to St. George.
Did this occur then in St. George?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Okay. So can you tell the story about Chris and his dog Mowgli? How
Yeah.
did that happen? What happened?
I just got thirsty and I just wanted a Arnold Palmer and I just drove into town because I wanted something to drink. And I didn't even see him when I pulled into the gas station. So when I started leaving is when I saw him. And I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I had some leftover money and I just gave him all the money I had. And he just said, God bless you. You know, I didn't know what was on his sign. But when I left, I probably went down probably about, I don't know, 100 feet down the road. And I turned around because something was telling me I think he needs some food because it's cold. And let me find out if he needs some coffee. So when I came back around, went back into the gas station, turned around, and I stopped right next to him. And that's where I saw the icicles on his beard. And I was just like, oh, dadgummit, you know. I asked him, I said, are you hungry? And he was just shivering, yes. And I asked him if he wanted some coffee. I didn't know he had Mowgli at that time because I didn't even see he had a dog.
Oh,
So I
wow.
went to McDonald's right next door, got him 2 meals, some hot coffee, some drinks, and I pulled into the McDonald's parking lot, honked my horn. He walked over, gave him the food, and I told him, I said, I wish I could do some more for you. And he was like, well, you gave us money. I do appreciate it. God bless you. We're almost there to get a room. And I said, we? And I looked around because I didn't see like a wife or a child or anything.
Mhm.
And he goes, yeah, me and my dog right there. And then I saw Mowgli on the ground covered with the blankets and stuff. And I'm like, oh, man. And I gave him the food. He said, God bless you. Thank you. We're really hungry. And so I took a picture. I'm like, I think I might need to post this. I don't know. So I drove home, told my wife the story, which is Vicky.
Vicky.
She has been, we've been together 23 years now.
Oh,
And
wow. Congratulations. That's beautiful.
thank you. She is a very godly person. I mean, she prays for us constantly. She is a good woman. And I'm just blessed every single day I wake up next to her.
Aw.
I told her the story and she was putting some stuff away. She looked at me and she's like, hun, I think God's trying to tell you something. And she got up and left, and I just pondered for about like 5 seconds, and I'm like, dadgummit, she's right. That's when I posted the 3 pictures on our community page. I said something to the extent, I don't know his story. I don't care what his story is. We just need to help him get out of this cold weather, and him and his dog. And it went crazy after that because we've had other posts on our community page and there's been like 50-50, good vibes and then the haters.
Yeah.
I was awestruck. I was just like dumbfounded of like we only had two out of hundreds and hundreds of responses.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's when I started getting calls from people saying we're looking for him. And at that time, that's when I already left my house to get in my truck to go look for him because I needed to do something. Yeah, that's where it all started from there. And it's been a blessing for him, for sure. It's been a blessing for all of us because I told Chris, I was like, what you think we're doing for you, you really don't know that you're bringing out something in everybody in this town, including myself. I told him I haven't walked inside of a church in 6 years. I'm ready to go back because of what transpired from this. And I spoke to my wife and she was just happy about it. And I've done cried all the tears that I have with this over this, and it,
I
it's
know I'm
been
choking tears myself.
it's been a very special moment for me, spiritually, mentally, physically as well. So it's awesome.
You were saying that you went back out to look for him. And at this point, did you have other people in the community that were saying that they were looking for him too? Because I specifically remember two names, Lisa and Ruth, that were
Yes.
looking for him as well and wanting to help him. So, can you talk a little bit more about that and how you guys finally found him?
Okay, so when I was driving around, I went down the interstate, and then I get a call from a young lady named Sarah. She says, we're trying to find him. And then I get a call from a young lady named Holly. She was from an adjacent town over. She wanted to give Mowgli a coat, a brand new coat for him. So I got a call from her, and then I get a call from Ruthie. Ruthie goes, me and Lisa are out here. We're trying to find this guy too. I mean, I literally stopped at every single motel, walked in and asked them, I know you can't give me any information, but did this guy, do you remember seeing him? Because our community is trying to come out to help him. Every one of them said no. There was one place I did not check, the Red Roof Inn. And then probably about 20 minutes later, Ruthie called me back. She said, we found him. He's at the Red Roof Inn. I'm like, that's the only place I did not check.
Of
Why
course,
did
that's
I
the way it
not
always
check it?
works.
Yes. So I pull in, there's Holly, there's Lisa, there's Ruthie. And she's with the manager, or the owner, Japan, of the Red Roof Inn. And they start talking. Lisa already got the first weeks for the motel for Chris.
Oh,
Japan ends up throwing another night on free. He discounts it by every day for like $35, I think. So it ended up being really, really cheap for Chris and Mowgli to stay there. But yeah, that's where we were at that time.
now, the woman that bought the coat for Mowgli, this made me cry. She was talking about how, and I believe this is the right one, that was trying to do the finances so she could get, is that her?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Holly.
When I saw the clip of Holly saying how she's paycheck to paycheck, as so many Americans are, and she was trying to do the math to see if she would have enough money to put gas in the car before the next payday. And she
Yep.
ended up realizing she would have a little bit of money left over. And she took that money and bought the coat for the dog,
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. There was
apparently.
so many, yeah, there's been so many people outpouring in this community. Candace and her husband, or her fiance, sorry, brought him food. I mean, just so many people brought him food and provided food for Mowgli, and it's just been a blessing. So at that time, I gave an update to the community. Again, I told them to be humble about this post because there shouldn't be anything said negative about the situation.
Right.
I just wanted somebody not to die and his companion out in the freezing cold. That was the only thing I wanted. There was no strings attached. I did not want to change his lifestyle. That's
Mhm.
why I did not come in here to do that. I didn't want him to die. That was it.
Well, usually you don't have as cold of weather as you're getting recently, right?
It's like this like every 10 years. It's very, very unheard of. And it just so happened to hit at that time that Chris and Mowgli were in town. And I couldn't sit aside just not doing nothing. I owe all credit to my wife. If she wouldn't have said that, honestly, Aaron, I don't know if I would have done anything.
But look what you already did even before that. You're not
Yeah,
giving yourself that kind of credit that you should, because it was bothering you, and it was bothering you to the point that you said to your wife, "This is what just happened, and I keep thinking about the guy." And that was really the catalyst for her saying, "God wants you to pay more attention to this and do a little
yeah,
bit more."
yeah. I just wanted people to show empathy, especially with everything going on in our nation. It's very terrible. I'm fourth generation here. I was very privileged growing up. I've had some bad things happen. We lost our home due to an accident that I had. I lost my business of 15 years. We
Oh,
currently live in our camper now. We bought some property that had an old trailer on it and I'm trying to fix up, but I'm disabled and I haven't worked in the last 5.5 years. So everybody's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." And I tell them, don't. I get to wake up every single morning and the sunshine gets to hit my face. Don't be sorry. I'm blessed. Even though, it almost severed my spinal cord and I had to have surgery on my neck. I've got a steel plate in my toe.
oh my gosh.
It busted my retina. I wear hearing aids now because I'm profound to severe or severe to profound death. Yeah, a lot has transpired from this.
Thank God you're alive. It sounds like you're very lucky to have lived through that. That is wow.
Holly was like saying, "I hope you get something from this." And I'm like, I don't want anything from this. The only thing that I want is I want people to see humanity, that it's okay to show empathy for somebody. It's okay to love a stranger. It's okay to help.
Yeah.
You don't have to give money. You don't have to give food. Just give some thoughts. Give a positive vibe. Say a prayer if you believe. If you don't, it's still okay. I just wanted to help them.
Everybody can do something. It doesn't have to be, like you said, it doesn't have to be money. Maybe you have a little extra something in your cabinet that could help him eat that day.
Yeah,
Maybe drop it off or just
yep,
ask how he is. Maybe you were the first person in a long time that even asked how he was doing. You
yeah,
don't know what anybody's carrying. I didn't realize all you had been through. And it's such a perfect example of, and I say it all the time, but it's so true. Everyone is carrying something you know nothing about. So just be kind. I miss kindness and empathy. And I think that's why this story just broke me down in tears, because there it is. This
yeah,
is what our country is all about. And I love the fact that there were so many overwhelming kind comments and people just gathering together. I mean, reading about it and seeing the story on CBS about how one person after the next in this community is like, I have this and I can donate this and I can help this way and I can help that way. And all of a sudden, you're all coming together for a greater good. And you see that neighbor that maybe you didn't know is really kind and wants to do something good for somebody else. And we've missed so much of that lately. All we hear about is the awfulness. And there are still so many good people out there that want to do really great things to help others. And this is such a highlight of it.
yeah. When they posted it on TikTok, I think it's got almost 400,000 views, and I'm getting messages from like Japan. It's getting reposted, in Canada by people, and again, there might have been like five negative out of thousands of comments. I went through every single one of them because I wanted to know what people were thinking, and they're just saying, that this is the America that I grew up in. This is what we should do. This is what good Christians are supposed to do. This
Yes.
is just, what good people are supposed to do. I know that feeling what Chris has gone through, and I've fought my own battles after we lost our house. I lost my business. I just went into this dark hole of depression, and I just had some really bad thoughts about, harming myself and stuff. And I thank God that my wife has stuck by me. And I know where Chris was at. I know that hopeless feeling. And I don't see that anymore in Chris. When I called my friend Kyla and asked her if she could help me with the haircut and stuff. I mean, she just, no problem, Carlos. Bring him the next day. I'll make room in my appointment, scheduling day. And she spent an hour on Chris, and I could not. I, it's just a blessing.
That's right. He got his hair cut and a nice trim on the beard. I remember seeing that. It's just
Yeah.
another beautiful example of people who are doing what they could to make his day a little better.
Yeah, and when he got his beard cut and stuff, you could see when he smiled, and you could see in his eyes. When I first saw him, you could see the weariness, the hopelessness. I don't mean to be negative in that part, but you could just tell somebody that they're trying to, what are they going to do for that day? How are they going to eat for that day? But after he got that haircut and stuff, what I saw was happiness and hopefulism. Like he sees something coming to him that he said it's changed his life.
Better days are ahead now. Like
Yeah,
you could see the difference in his face. He
yeah.
carried himself different.
Yes, yes, and the way he walked, the way he talked, it was just something totally different in that man. And when I took him to go get his laundry done, I think it was for the first week and a half I seen him every single day. I don't know what it is. I needed to help him. I mean, everybody needs help at one time. As a man, we don't open up, you know.
Yeah.
Chris maybe needed that. He maybe needed that window open so he could talk to somebody on the other side.
Yes.
And I learned so much from him. It took a while. It was like an onion to peel away because he didn't share a lot for the first couple of days. He was very secluded into himself. He just didn't want to give all that information out.
Hmm.
But
I understand
I'm
that.
glad he really did. He's quite a fascinating person.
And who knows how long it had been since he really had anybody that wanted to sit down and talk to him about whatever he's going through and just about life and how
Yeah,
things can get better. You were talking and just naming so many of your friends and your wife that were there with you through just the darkest times. And he has Mowgli. That's what he had at the time. And just even when you said you pulled up and when you saw Mowgli, Mowgli was under all these blankets. Here he is with his beard with icicles hanging off, but his dog is as warm as he can get him underneath blankets. That shows you
yeah,
what kind of human he is.
yeah. It was awesome. It was very touching, and I'm blessed that a young lady, she owns Charleston Chalks. Her name is Paula. She's the one that actually sent that to CBS. She started corresponding with one of the producers. And honestly, Aaron, when she sent that and she sent me the email back saying that they received, the story and stuff, we'll take a look at it. And I just figured that it would be shredded in some corner in some trash can of some office because they
Yeah.
get thousands of these stories. What is different about this one? But when I talked to Grace, the producer at CBS, she told me they had a Zoom call with the office in New York, and collectively they agreed. Most of all of them were crying about the story that was going on. They said this nation needs to hear this story, and I'm glad that it did. And when they posted it, the world sees it now.
Yes. And maybe the world can be reminded that there are still really good people here who want to do really good things. At the core of us, we look out for each other, we take care of each other.
Yeah, when I was just bombarded with so many people wanting to help that I'm telling you, my first week and a half with Chris it was like a full-time job. It really was. And I was just like grateful, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, really?" I mean, because they didn't know his story. They didn't
Yeah.
need to know his story. They gave him, like survival kits because we didn't know if he was going to stay. We didn't know if he was going to go. We didn't know any of this stuff. It's a blessing all the way around. Any way you look at it, it's a blessing for everyone.
Well, what's really remarkable is that from the very beginning, you said, I don't need to know the story. I just need to get him some help. I just want to
Yeah,
get him warm. I want to get him off of the street. I want to get him help. I don't need to know how he got there, why he's there. I'm not here to judge him. I'm just here to help him and maybe save his life because it is so cold. He cannot live out on the corner like that right now,
yeah,
especially. And
yeah,
you doing that and moving forward with it and then saying who else can help. And that's the other beautiful part of this story, is that it wasn't about needing to know his situation before anybody stepped up and said, "Okay, I'll help." That
Yeah.
that part is irrelevant. There's a human being that is struggling that could really use a hand up, and if there's anything you can do, that would be terrific. Period.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
Yeah. People were asking for updates. So I gave them an update. And when I gave them the update about Chris being able to stay in the motel for a week, people started saying, "How can we help?" I said, "Okay, here's my Cash App. Here's my Venmo if you would like to help. If you don't just be humble about this post." I was able to receive from our community another almost $800 from our community to get him another week at the
Oh my
motel, because
gosh.
this stretch of cold weather, this is unheard of. This span of cold weather lasted for about 3 weeks. And then so many people just gave $5, $125. I mean, people were just giving. I've got donations from Alabama. Police officers were donating. I would like for people to get this kind of compassion and empathy and humanity for other people in their towns and the surrounding cities. I told him I would be transparent about everything. After I cashed that money out, the almost $800, he got him another week's worth of room, so he had 2 weeks. Then I gave an update. Here's what we got from Venmo. Here's what we got from Cash App. I went to take Chris to go do some laundry. I took Chris to go get some lunch. Took Chris to go get some small general needs. Again, people were going, "Carlos, you're a godsend." I didn't want him to and Mowgli to die out in cold weather.
Right.
People said, "Please, how can we help?" We were able to raise another $900 for Chris. He paid for the third week. Yes.
Wow.
I'm so grateful for our community of St. George. I can't say enough. I'm just,
What wonderful people. Oh my gosh. It really is
yeah,
just the best of humanity. All the different people that just wanted to help and continue to do whatever they could to make sure that they had a warm place to stay.
yeah. And that was it. I mean, like Candace Player, she brought him food pretty much every night. Just hot meals. That says a lot.
It
I
does.
mean, who's going to go out of their way to make a meal and then bring it to you, to a total stranger that you don't even know?
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Big karma blessings are coming your way. And I know that has zero to do with any of your kindness, but I
Yeah,
truly believe that things that you put out there come back. And you are such a great example of the best of us.
I owe it all to my old football coach. I owe it to my parents. Those are the people that I'm surrounded by.
Yeah.
Those are the people that taught me to show empathy, to love thy neighbor.
You're doing that beautifully.
I don't know. I just hope a lot of people take the time to maybe help out in any way. A can of food, like you were talking about, a can of food you got laying around. That
Yeah.
that could mean a dinner for somebody.
And the most important thing of all of it is you don't need to know the story. If somebody is outside and it's freezing, empathy goes so far. You don't need to know what happened to get that person there. All you see, there's another human being standing outside with icicles on his beard. He could use a hot coffee.
Yeah. Yep.
He could use some kindness. Whatever happened in his life to get him there, maybe be grateful that you're not standing there with him and instead do something to make that moment of his a little better.
Yeah. I tell everyone, you are one car wreck away from that. You are one job loss away from that.
Yes.
You are one divorce away from that. We do not know his story. We could end up in that position a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now.
With Chris and Mowgli, do they need help with another week or anything?
No. Lisa, the one that runs her organization, Love Thy Neighbor, done some extremely hard work. She got him a job. She got him a place, a camper. Yeah. The camper needs a little bit of work done to it. Like I have a refrigerator that I'm going to put in there for him. I'm going to fix the AC unit. I think the camper was donated, but just only donated for use only, not to give it to
Mhm.
him because it belonged to
Yeah.
somebody else. He's just using it. But she ended up finding a job for him. Yeah, and where he's parked at, the site, he can walk to work. It is literally right beside his new job. And he can go back and check
Oh
on
my god.
Mowgli anytime he wants. Not to mention, Mowgli can go with him on nice days because he will be working outside. So Mowgli is
Oh,
allowed to go there. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
The gentleman that is the welder in there will stay an extra hour afterwards to teach Chris to get his certification in welding. Yes. Chris is
Oh,
happy. The great thing, I have gained so many friends now from this. It's
yeah,
wonderful.
I bet.
So Chris is doing good. I haven't talked to him because I've been really busy with my dad in the hospital here, but I'm going to call him this evening to see how his first day of work was. So, yeah, it's great.
My heart is just, oh my gosh, exploding.
Yeah. When we ask, the town gives.
Yeah.
That's what it did because the gentleman that got him the job, or is the owner, I can't remember, but he actually almost walked the same path as Chris, and he's just giving it back now. He's returning that favor, what somebody did for him, because he walked the same path as
Wow.
Chris.
When I think I can't love this story anymore, somehow it goes to a different level, and I
Oh,
do.
yeah. You hear of stories like this, I don't know why this one hits so hard in people's hearts. The only thing that I can think of is it's the diversity of the people that came from our
Mhm.
community. I mean, white, black, Hispanic, Filipino, Italians, Indian people, Muslims come together to help one individual. What greater love is that? Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
Yes, that's what I was just gonna say. It's what we're supposed to do. It's such a beautiful example of
Yeah.
the true heart of America.
Yes.
We need more of it.
Yes, we do. We really do. I would cry, Aaron, but I can't because I've already cried so much for this guy. Um, he holds a special
That's
place in
okay, I'm
my
doing it
heart.
enough for both of us,
Chris is a good guy.
as are you.
He's a juggler. That's how he earns
Oh,
money.
no way.
We got him some juggling stuff off of Amazon, and just the smile on his face, the old Chris is back. People actually cared for him, and just instead of driving past him, all
Yeah,
it does is take one act of kindness to change somebody's day. And I think you hit it very good when a minute ago when you can just go up to somebody and, how's your day going? Be that friendly person.
my heart is just bursting after this conversation. It has absolutely brightened my spirit. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Okay, I don't think I've literally cried throughout an entire interview before like I just did with Carlos, but, oh, I can't say enough about him turning around. 'Cause that made all the difference. First of all, him stopping to speak with Chris in the first place is big. It touched something in him, in his soul, to see how cold it was and that this gentleman just clearly needed a little bit of help, and gave him money, but then couldn't stop thinking about him, and turned around and asked if he was hungry, got him some food, got him coffee, tried to warm him up, got home, still thinking about him, still thinking about his dog, and how can I do something else to help? And then speaking with his wife who said, "You know what? I think you need to go back there. I think there's something bigger here that you're supposed to do." And then he did it. That's the thing. Instead of just driving by, walking by, do something. Try to do something to make the world a better place, to make somebody's day a little better. It could be the smallest of things, but you really don't know the difference you could be making. There are so many people who are hanging on by a thread right now. And a kind word, an open door, a "How are you doing? How is your day going?" could mean all the difference, and you don't even know it. So just try to be like Carlos, spread the love, spread the kindness, and look at what one community was able to do. Maybe yours is going to be the next. Be the good, be the light, be the kindness. Somebody needs to be. So I hope it's you. Thank you so, so much for being here. If you know of someone that's making the world a better place, you know I want to speak to them. ErinO'Malley'sFrequency.com is my website. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.